Sean, just how important is that win and how welcome is it?
Both important and welcome. We looked at the idea of how well we've played this season, not won, so we deliberately tried to play long and strong and made the game as awkward and as kind of ugly as possible and get an ugly win, and it worked. We wanted to ask as many questions of them early on by getting behind them, asking questions of their back line. And I think overall it worked. As I said, we gave the ball away too cheap, but there's a nervousness when you've been on a run like that. And that stops the storyline, it changes the storyline, but now it's important we build on that. But the winning mentality is important, and I think it was on show today to make sure we found a win.
What were you planning to say to the players in the moments before half-time, before that goal went in?
We weren't far away without being, we're not being fluid or anything, but we knew that, and so the biggest thing for me was that to believe in what we're doing, and I thought they did. They stuck at it and kept asking questions. You've got to remember, it's a funny game today. I mean, I hate crying it in, to be honest, about referees and all that, but how we don't get a second send-off, how we don't get a penalty again today with Jimmy Garner, it's identical to last week's with Dom down at Bournemouth. We never got that one either. I mean, we all see it in the Premier League. I don't know I don't know how we don't get them. Anyways, that aside, it was more important than mentality to win, and I think that was on show. We've asked a lot of the players. Ghana with his family situation, his wife's had a baby overnight, which is fantastic, of course. Congratulations to them, but couldn't play today. Amadou finished training, but said he was too sore to play, so then that's another body down. Duke's had to put another shift in again. Andre's finished 90 for the first time in a while. So, there's some stories behind the stories that are important, but they've put a proper shift in today to make sure we won.
And for so many of the last few months, you've been saying about Dominic Calvert-Lewin needed something to come off his shin or his back or just an ugly goal. He got that penalty in midweek, had the bravery to step up, and now he gets the luck he deserves. Yeah,
and all of a sudden you're 2-2. He's pressed well and he's got his foot across the keeper, and you get, sometimes they don't bounce in, but it does. I thought we had at the moment. The thing we know we've got to correct the number of times we break on teams, and today as well, and not finding the last pass or not finding the final moment. I mean, that's something that's been a challenge all season. It was there again today because the game should have been killed off, but we didn't kill it off, and then you wonder. You're nervous at the end, but the facts are the facts. I think they had one shot on target, so it's a pretty fair reflection of dominating the game in a different way, not with the ball, but without the ball, and giving that feel to make sure that you see the game through, which we did.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Happy days. It's funny that when we don't get a result, it's a lot more questions.
Obviously, Sean, this could be good time.
I ain't seen you in ages. You're right.
Got good time. This week is Judgment Day. Well, the week coming up. I mean, how important was this win? In conjunction with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's. You're trying to control the controllables, which I speak about endlessly, and the realities. It's hard because at the end of the day, they were asking me this week, actually, the media on Thursday, have we stepped forward? And I said, well, today's win would be on 35 points. We only got 36 in the season's work. Last season, we've got 7 games to go. So there you go. Well, and that's unfortunate for me because it's not on my watch and it's difficult. On the other hand, it is another reality. That's where it's at, lads. We don't know what's going to come next. But I reminded the players we can control the controllables, and that's changing the storyline. And we've had another step forward to change that today. There's not every answer. Not saying we've got every answer, but it's a very important victory today, and that's another step forward in the mentality to take the rest of the season on. I think we've deserved better out of the run we've had. It's goals. We were saying winning. Winning changes people's reflection of games. We've dominated games here, drew or lost, and if we'd won them, they'd have said, yeah, we're way better than the opposition. But you don't, and they say it was a poor performance. That's life as a football manager. But changing that is the important factor, and we've taken a step forward in changing it today. Yeah, well, they are generally. I mean, they've been great. We talked about that as well. They've been great. It's a challenge for them because they're nervous, and then that makes the players nervous, and it's vice versa. But you've got to find a way through that. And like I say, I'm pleased we did today because it was a very important win and another clean sheet. I think that's 9 now. So that side of the game has been intact, even through a tough run when we haven't won. Still get 9 clean sheets this season. And like I said to you want to control the controllables through your performance. But I don't know how we're not getting some of the decisions. I don't know how. The one at Bournemouth with Dom, I don't know how that's not giving us a penalty. Today, a second sending off, a penalty for me. And, we see it all the time in the Premier League, but we just can't seem to get them decisions. And I don't like crying it in too much, but I've got to because I see it. I've seen it back. I've seen it at Bournemouth. I've seen it today, and that's really hard to take in tight games like this because it could change everything. The one at Bournemouth could have changed the outcome without a doubt.
Sure. You said about the nervousness, obviously on the back of the results not coming your way, but have you managed to get into the dressing room and just take in a bit of that winning feeling again yourself?
Well, it's a strange feeling when you're not. I've had some tough runs in my career. This is as tough as all of them as regards not winning. The players know it's a step. I said when I first got to beat Arsenal, everyone was jumping for joy. I said, no, it's one step. That's just another step today in correcting the storyline. We've deserved better, in my opinion, with our performances, but you don't get it. So therefore, like I say, you've got to park it and go, right, the next one's the most important one. So by hook or crook today, it was very important to win. So I'm pleased that the design of the team and the way that we've gone about it and the delivery of the team found a way to win. It's an important factor.
You just felt the tension left a bit?
Well, I don't know yet. Only just there wasn't that much tension. I think they've handled most of this season well with all the knocks we've had. They've handled the season well, I think. I never questioned, but I've been proud of the players. It's not easy when the cloud over this guy's been there for 2-3 years. Some of the players have been there for 2 or 3 years. So it's not, you can't just change it overnight. It's a process, and they're going through it and they're working hard and they're delivering as much as they can and trying to make it change. And it's hard when it keeps coming back against you. But that's the reality of this football club, and that's what I've been endlessly trying to change, certainly in my time here. It's giving that positive flow, and we've nearly got there. We won 4 on the trot and everything's changing, and then a tough run hits you and everything doesn't, etc., etc. It's how we find that consistency to keep the story changing. And once it changes, you lock it in and it changes for a long time then. But we're still in that process of trying to change it.
Well,
yeah, I think the ref's got no choice with that one. It's not a terrible tackle or anything, but he's caught him late and he's clearly through their back line. I was surprised the second one. I don't like seeing players getting red carded, to be honest, but better cuts across him in the Premier League. If you catch him there, we all know what happens, but apparently not. Sending off, not a penalty by that, it's outside the box, but sending off wise. And like I say, at the end, they get a corner and you're nervous going, really? You're going, really? Again, you know what I mean? It creeps into your psyche, but please say we defended it well and saw the game through. Well, it's always a base to work from, but it's the two things: scoring goals. No surprise to anyone, it gives you that impetus from the defensive side of things because you think, right, we know we're going to score. If you're not scoring goals, it gives you that nervousness about when you're going, are we going to score? Well, now it looks like we're finding people scoring goals again, so therefore it changed again. So we want that psychology to pay through for the end of the season. But the defensive side of the team has been pretty resolute all season, I would say.